This is a practical guide with 23 tips on how to find an apartment in Munich. If you are looking for a flat in Munich like I did, I think this is the right place. Smiley face. A short background about me: I recently moved to Munich and had the challenge to find an apartment. Why it is a challenge? Well, most likely if you're reading this you may probably know that it is considered as hard to find an apartment in Munich. Since hard is a comparative word, let's omit it and jump right into the main topic of this article. Before starting to read these tips, please note 1. This is my personal experience and it worked for me. Since we all are different people and live different lives, following these tips can be different as well. 2. Feel free to share your thoughts, comments, tips, edits in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer and adjust my text accordingly. Inputs: 1. The apartment search was happening in February 2019. 2. I have a limited by time work visa, which in the future would allow me to get a blue card. 3. The salary is average according to Glassdoor and PayScale for a mid-career software engineer. 4. I have an unlimited contract with my employer, but half a year is a probation period. 5. I don't know German. 6. I haven't lived in Germany before, I came from Ukraine. 7. I was looking for an apartment where I would live alone without pets and wouldn't smoke. 8. At the moment when I started to look for a flat, I was in Munich for 2 weeks. 9. When I moved to Munich I had an Airbnb kind of rental for 2 months. I did 2 months since I thought it will take around 2 months to find a long-term apartment. Practical guide and tips: 1. Use Mo for the search since it has the largest number of apartments, nice, useful, and have effective features that would make your search easier. I also tried a little to search on other websites but had no results. 2. Some people suggest using Mr. Lodge. The advantages are, fairly easy to get an apartment and you can even do it online without coming to Munich. The downside is that the prices are approximately 30% higher than the market. I would go with Mr. Lodge, in case I didn't have a temporary apartment to live at the start or would be abroad at the moment when I started to look for an apartment. 3. Buy premium on Mo. I think that €60, €30 per month with a minimum subscription period of 2 months, is a very reasonable amount that you need to pay to speed up your search. Does the premium help? I think yes, in case you trust the numbers Mo shows you. Shortly, it allows your message to the landlord to be at the top of the list of all the messages of other users. So there can be 30 premium users and 50 normal users. I think the landlord may only contact 10 to 15 among premium. Also, you can see the stats on how many people applied for a certain apartment. 4. On Mo, set up the search using filters. Then set up the notifications and mailing for this search. It will send you apartments that did fit your requirements every hour or more, but I would suggest hourly to your FB Messenger or mailbox. I used filters: 30 minutes from work or 5 kilometers from work. Consider that the price you set in search filter is cold. What is it? 5. In total, I sent 340 applications within 3 weeks. In the beginning, I've set the price to €1,200 but later decreased it to 1,000. In total, I had around 20 apartment viewings but had around 45 invitations for viewing. Mostly because of the price, since I realized €1,200 was a little high and it would suggest apartments that are almost 1,300 to 1,400 warm. So if I would look for apartment one more time I would start from 1,000 cold and then raise it in case it doesn't go well. 6. I was sending my application without checking the apartment's address, location, pictures, reading any of the descriptions. So basically I would only rely on search filters. The reason is that to get an invitation for the viewing is so low that it doesn't worth any effort to check, read and spend the energy evaluating the apartment. So the idea is to check the apartment only after getting the invitation. I think this tip is a real time saver. 7. You will need documents. They usually tell the landlord that you are good, reliable, will pay on time. Which documents I had: resume, example. I would recommend adding a picture. For example, I had a picture where the background was a Golden Gate SF. Few landlords thought that I'm American, which I think could be an advantage and make me a more reliable tenant. Schufa. Shortly speaking, that's a doc that tells your credit history, debts, etc. If you are new to Germany, Schufa will be empty, which is good. Mo Premium allows you to generate this doc for free online and fast payslips or bank statement. Since I didn't have payslips at that moment, I used the bank statement to prove that I have money contract with my employer. Basically, I used only 3 pages from it, one page with my salary, another that stated that it's an unlimited contract, the last one with the signatures. I was also bringing the original contract with me for the viewing. The original was checked only once, recommendation letter from my direct manager. Visa and passport. 7. All these documents I put into a folder on Google Drive with shared view access. And I added the link to these documents when was writing my pitch to the landlord. Some people suggest not to include these docs for the security reasons. 8. The pitch wasn't custom at all. I only changed the name of the landlord. Also added a small detail like, I really like your apartment and it's very close to my work, which kind of made it feel a little custom for the landlord. 9. When someone replies to your message, it's better to answer right away. The faster you reply, the more interest of yours it shows. Also, it's just more convenient for them to speak to someone who replies fast. 10. If you got an invitation for the viewing, it's better not to reschedule it. I missed one apartment this way. 11. After this situation, I was doing it differently. When I would get an invitation, I tried to ask to schedule it earlier than their suggested date. Sometimes it worked. 12. During the viewing, surely ask questions and show the interest. Be normal, try to talk about life and so on. Just try to impress, be nice. 13. Bring documents printed, preferably in color, it's more noticeable. Put them into the folder or use the clip. Always have few copies of the documents in your backpack so that you are ready anytime for the viewing. They may schedule it the same day you contact them. 14. Sometimes they ask to send docs to their email. For this purpose, have a PDF file ready in your mailbox so that you can easily forward the document. Merge all the docs into one PDF for convenience. 15. Some people advised me to say, "Yes, I want your apartment," after each viewing. The idea is similar as I did in bullet number 5. Basically, you tell everyone you want them, but only in case they say yes as well, you would then rethink it. I wasn't able to try this advice because I found the apartment at the moment I knew about this. But it probably sounds logical, so I decided to add it here. 16. How did I communicate without knowing German? The pitch itself was in German. I was receiving answers in German. Then I was answering in German and English, both languages in one message. Used Google to translate. 17. There were approximately 3 landlords who didn't speak English. In any case, I would say knowing German helps, but since you probably have a few weeks, months to learn it, it won't make much of a difference. 18. Beware of scams. How to identify the scam? Very low price, very nice pics, they contact you via email, they ask to prepay, and the story is like, "I'm not in Munich, I'll send you the keys via Airbnb and you send me money." 19. How to manage all of these things. I had a spreadsheet with all the apartments I had mutual communication with. Check out an example here. Since there were many flats, it was very hard to remember everything and later find things. Good structuring allows you to keep it manageable and have less stress and mistakes. Note that mistakes may lead to losing a potential apartment. The spreadsheet also had a link to the IMO chat. 20. Once we scheduled the viewing appointment, I would also create a Google Calendar event with the address of the apartment. I would also ask if I should ring the bell or call the landlord when I reach the place. Also, put this info to Google Calendar event notes. 21. I made my apartment viewings early in the morning before work or after work. Also had one viewing during lunchtime, since the flat was just across my office. I had from 0 to 3 viewings per day. 22. All, approximately 95%, apartments I had communications with had these options of a start date of rental, ASAP, the 1st of March or the 1st of April. Consider that I was looking for an apartment in February. The majority had the 1st of March as a start day. So considering this, please note this 2 advice. First advice is, book your temporary apartment until the end of the month so that on 1st you could move to the newly found apartment and you won't need to pay double rent. If you are afraid you need more time to move from an apartment to another, then take a few backup days double rent for these few days. My mistake was that my temporary apartment was rented until 15th of the month. Second advice is, to avoid double rent, it doesn't make sense to look for an apartment 3 months or more before the end of your current rental, because you won't find them on the market because all the flats have a start date within 1 to 2 months. 23. Oftentimes there are such cases where the person who is expected to be a landlord does the communication and viewing with you is actually a current tenant. So basically it means that current tenant helps the actual landlord to find a substitute for themselves. The apartment I rented was actually a case. And also 2 other apartments that I almost got were also this case. Summary: 1. Spent around 3 weeks for search. 2. Rental price is $875, warm, including electro, heat, water, internet. 38 square meters, 1 room, balcony, separated kitchen. All the furniture and kitchen were there. The only thing missing was a bed bought from IKEA for €350. The contract is 6 months with an ability to extend after. The apartment overall was a bit oldish. There was a moment when I felt desperate. Because having viewings with no results is demotivating. Also, since I just started at the new job, I also needed to perform well, be on time at work and so on. But it's okay. I mean, it's normal to look for an apartment for such a period of time. So don't be sad, keep it up. We just need to accept the market and understand that it just works like that. Good luck.